attract more than you require. So when we are attracting, it's a good practice that we attract even more than the required numbers of employees, such that we shall be able to select the best or those ones we feel meet the requirements out of that pool. So recruitment, you attract and build up a pool of applicants. That's what we are referring to as recruitment. That process or a set of activities through which we attract job candidates that we feel they have the required qualifications, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors to perform in the vacant positions. So that is recruitment. So we can look at recruitment, that is the process of searching for candidates, searching and attracting candidates that are qualified for the particular job. So we go out there and search. We try as much as possible to attract a pool of job applicants. Now, we do so such that we shall build a pool from which we can select. So to attract, you are not yet selecting, you are not yet deciding who is qualified, who is best suited, who is competent, but you are simply accumulating a pool of applicants such that you, as you proceed, you will have ability to make choices. So to attract or to accumulate a pool, to build up a pool of job candidates, that's what we are calling recruitment. Now, to recruit, you need to be careful, as I've indicated, for it to be successful and provide a better selection, you must attract more than the number that you want. Then that's going to give you a variety. That's going to give you an opportunity to assess several candidates and determine who are qualified, who are best suited. And that's when you will be able now to do recruitment. Quite often, that's when you'll be able to do selection. Quite often, we undertake recruitment, but we fail to meet the required numbers of candidates we want. We fail to attract the required number or even the qualified candidates. We may attract numbers, but those numbers may not be the kind of people that we want. So their recruitment actually has failed. When you are attracting, you need to attract those people whom you feel they meet the requirements that you are looking for. And there you are going to be effective, there you are going to deliver. Stephen Ekwaru, kindly mute your microphone. Stephen Ekwaru, kindly mute your microphone. Now, what are the factors that actually influence recruitment? What are the factors that influence recruitment? If your recruitment is going to be effective, you need to think in terms of the following factors. Number one, size of an organization. Many candidates, first of all, want to know the size of the organization. People want to work for bigger organizations, established big organizations. Nancha Kevin, mute. Nancha Kevin, mute your microphone. Nancha Kevin, mute your microphone. Thank you. Stephen Ekwaru, mute, please, or else I'll exit you. I was talking about size of an organization as a factor that will influence your recruitment efforts. Many people want to be attracted to bigger organizations instead of these small organizations. Number two is employment conditions. Employment conditions, people want to work in a comfortable working environments, organizations that provide them with a conducive environment that's welcoming, that is supportive, that's encouraging, that provides a better place to work in. So if you have a conducive working conditions, then people are going to be attracted to you. Number three is employment conditions. There's a difference between working conditions and employment conditions. Working conditions, that's in terms of the environment in which you are, you know, the working relationship around and the people around you, the facilities, the provisions that are given to you to make you work comfortably. Now, but employment conditions, these are requirements for worker to go on well. What must be meant, what must like salaries. This includes entitlements that are given in the workplace. If they are conducive, then people are going to get attracted to that organization and therefore be potential candidates for selection. Number 4 is growth trend of the organization. To what extent or how or what direction is the organization taking in terms of growth? If the organization is performing well, is growing, is expanding, is progressing very well, many people will get attracted as compared to the organization that's declining, that's in the recess, that is not performing well, that's not expanding. People want progressive things, progressive organizations, and progressive people. People want to see that the organization is expanding and therefore providing opportunities for their career growth. Number 5 is about government policies. Government policies, government comes up with a number of policies, a number of regulations, a number of rules that govern how employment is going to be undertaken. This could be, for example, the employment laws. It could be issues of minimum wage. It could be, legislation that governs fairness in employment. So if you have conducive working environment, you have government policies that are supportive, the legislations that govern employment, they are supportive. For example, you set a minimum wage that is supportive of workers, that's supportive of employees, then it's going to be really attractive, and you are going to have successful or effective recruitment efforts. Next is about organizational policies. Organizations themselves come up with policies that direct how activities are undertaken. Policies that govern behaviors, that govern practices, what is to be done and what's not to be done, and how it is actually to be done. Now, government organizational policies, in addition, just like government policies, they will also determine whether people get attracted or not. Certain policies could be restrictive and not supportive. Certain policies could demand a lot from people in terms of their expectations and standards to the extent that people feel uncomfortable. But if they are supportive, they're encouraging, then people are going to be attracted, and that will lead to successful or effective recruitment process. Then number 7 is about image of the company. Image, people, that's about public relations. How do people out there perceive this particular company? It's a reputable company, it is recognized, it is appreciated, then people are going to be attracted, and then you will have so many people applying and expressing interest in working with that particular organization. So some of those are the factors that will influence the effectiveness of recruitment. And that will lead us to understanding that when we undertake recruitment, certain organizations actually fail to attract the kind of people that they want, and therefore they go on re-advertising vacant positions several times without getting that kind of person that they want. Akelo Innocent, kindly mute your microphone. Akelo Innocent, mute off your microphone, please. Now, when the organizations go on re-advertising, it means that they have failed to attract the kind of people that they want. Now, what are the factors that actually enable organizations to attract or not attract the kind of persons that they want? In addition to what we have discussed as factors that influence recruitment efforts, there are factors that will lead you to either attracting or not attracting the kind of person that you want. We have talked about the image of the organization. If the image is good, is positive, it's appreciated, people will get attracted to the organization. But if the image is negative, the reputation is negative, people don't respect that organization, for probably negative public relations, negative publicity about that organization, then we are not going to be able to attract the kind of person that we want. Number two is about the nature of the job. The nature of the job can lead you to attract candidates or not. For example, certain jobs are highly repetitive, highly demanding, working in tough environments, and therefore traditionally engaging, and people don't like such jobs that are repetitive, that don't provide discretion, that don't provide authority, that don't provide, a peace of mind to make decisions. Number three is about internal organizational policies. As we have discussed, policies within the organization can hinder that particular organization from attracting candidates. The other factor is about influence of trade unions. Trade unions can set up high requirements. Trade unions are bodies that are an association or bodies comprising of employees that come together to form a strong voice. It's a collection of employees under an organized arrangement that advocates for the interests of employees, better working conditions of employees, but in a certain regard, they can set up high demands that actually employers may not meet, or at times even what may not be comfortable to employees, and therefore that will affect recruitment efforts and also make you not actually attract the kind of candidate that you want. Then government influence, we have talked about government influence. At times government restricts recruitment, probably because of the economic factors or the employment situation in the country, that they set up certain guidelines on how to recruit, and therefore if they are not favorable, we may not be able to attract the kind of people that we want. Then it costs. Recruitment is not cheap. Running an advert in the papers is very expensive, and we can also undertake different other methods, and that is going to be costly. And if it is costly, then people will not actually be able to be attracted to the organizations that we are working for or where we want them to join. Okay. Then now let us look at recruiting sources. Where do we get to recruit from? Recruiting sources can be internal or external. Two recruiting sources: internal sources and external sources. What are internal sources? Internal sources of recruitment are those ones within